Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to dive into a revolutionary concept that's going to change the way you think about success. We're going to talk about the book, 10x is Easier Than 2x by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. This book challenges everything we know about productivity and success. Most people believe that success is a matter of incremental improvement. They think that by making small, steady progress, they'll eventually achieve their goals. But in 10x is Easier Than 2x, the authors propose a completely different approach. Achieving 10 times more is actually easier than aiming for just a 2x improvement. It might sound counterintuitive at first, but once you understand the concept, it'll completely shift your mindset. You see, when you aim for 10x, you force yourself to think differently, work smarter, and maximize your time. Let's break down the key pillars of this idea and how you can start applying it to your life and business today. The first key lesson from the book is about thinking bigger. When you set a 10x goal, you force yourself to step outside the boundaries of small, safe thinking. Instead of focusing on incremental improvements, you ask yourself, how can I make this 10 times bigger? This shift from 2x to 10x thinking opens up new possibilities. Instead of trying to improve what you already have, you start asking bigger questions. How can I reimagine my approach to this? How can I innovate at a level I've never considered before? For example, let's say you're a business owner. A 2x goal might be increasing your revenue by 20% this year, but a 10x goal is completely different. You might ask, how can I grow my business by 200% in the next year? This forces you to challenge your assumptions, rethink your strategies, and find creative solutions that you wouldn't have considered with a smaller, more conventional goal. The second pillar is all about doing less, but doing it better. This might seem contradictory, but it's one of the most powerful insights in the book. The idea is simple. When you aim for 10x results, you realize that you don't need to do more work. In fact, doing more can actually distract you from achieving your goals. The secret is to focus on fewer, higher leverage activities. Instead of spreading yourself thin with numerous tasks, you focus on the ones that will move the needle the most. For instance, a business owner might spend countless hours managing emails, attending meetings, and handling day-to-day operations. But none of these tasks are going to create the breakthrough results you're looking for. The key is to identify the few tasks that actually drive growth and put all of your energy into those. Delegating tasks, automating processes, and removing unnecessary distractions is essential when you're aiming for 10x. If you focus on high-leverage actions, you'll find that achieving 10x results requires significantly less effort than you initially thought. This pillar goes hand in hand with the second one, and it's one of the most common misconceptions in the world of entrepreneurship. Working harder does not lead to success. In fact, working harder often leads to burnout and poor decision-making. Instead of throwing more time and energy at your goals, the authors of the book argue that you should work smarter. This means focusing on the activities that generate the most value, automating repetitive tasks, and eliminating the things that aren't moving you forward. Think about how successful entrepreneurs work. They're not grinding away 80 hours a week. They focus on strategic thinking, high-leverage activities, and building systems that work for them, not the other way around. For example, instead of trying to increase your sales by doubling the number of hours you work, focus on doubling the value you provide to your customers. This could mean improving your products, refining your marketing, or delivering an experience that makes your customers come back for more. Delegation and automation are essential components of the 10x strategy. If you want to achieve 10x results, you can't do everything yourself. This is where delegation and automation come into play. The 10x strategy is about building systems that run without your constant involvement. This means delegating tasks that others can do better or more efficiently and automating processes that don't require your personal touch. Take, for example, a software business. If you're still manually handling customer support or processing orders, that's time you could be spending on more important tasks. By automating your systems and hiring the right team, you free up your time to focus on what matters most. Remember, building a business that works for you means creating processes that don't need constant oversight. This makes scaling so much easier and allows you to focus on high-level strategy. Finally, rest is not just about relaxation. It's a key part of your productivity. To achieve 10x results, you need to be at your best physically and mentally. That means prioritizing rest and recovery. Entrepreneurs often fall into the trap of thinking that success requires constant hustle and burnout. But the truth is that high performance comes from balance. Taking breaks, getting quality sleep, and practicing mindfulness are all part of the equation. Successful entrepreneurs know that when they're well-rested, they make better decisions, come up with more innovative ideas, and ultimately achieve more with less effort. So, don't neglect your well-being. Prioritize your mental and physical health, and watch how your productivity improves. Now that you know the core principles, here are some actionable tips to get started on your own 10x journey. Pick one pillar per week and dive deep into it. Write about your insights, reflect on them, and take action. Ask yourself every morning, am I living by my own values? Or am I living someone else's expectations? Commit to building one digital asset in the next 30 days. This could be a blog, an online course, a product, or something that can scale with little time investment. Read one high-quality book this month and implement one idea that resonates with you. Practice stillness for at least 5 minutes a day. This will help you clear your mind and hear the important insights that often get drowned out by daily noise. Now that you've grasped the pillars of the 10x is easier than 2x concept, it's time to reflect deeply on how this mindset shift can transform the way you work, live, and grow. The biggest lesson here is that thinking small is the greatest obstacle to extraordinary success. When you limit yourself to small goals, you automatically limit yourself to small solutions, and that's a tough cycle to break. Real transformation begins when you choose to think big, not just in terms of objectives, but also in the way you perceive your potential to change your life. The 10x concept isn't just about growth and scaling numbers. It's about the idea that by aiming for something that seems unattainable, you're naturally forced to think and act differently. Have you noticed how the people who change the world are not those who follow the crowd and do what everyone else does? They're the ones who challenge convention and make bold decisions. The courage to think big is what separates great entrepreneurs from those who merely seek survival. By applying the pillars of 10x is easier than 2x, you will begin to notice that the effort required to achieve larger goals is not linear. In fact, often, the actions required to achieve 10x growth require less daily effort than the small increments we usually try to make. This is because the focus on strategies that scale, like delegating, automating, and thinking strategically, frees up your time and potential, allowing you to focus on activities that truly make a difference. It's important to understand that smart work is far more valuable than hard work. Society tends to glorify the grind and effort, but real mastery comes from the ability to focus on the few things that truly matter. This doesn't mean you stop working hard, but it means you start working more efficiently and effectively. When you decide to delegate and automate, you create systems that work for you, allowing your efforts to be multiplied. This frees up your time and energy to focus on what truly matters, creating value, innovating, and seizing the opportunities that only appear when you have time and space to think more strategically. Another essential point to consider is the power of recovery and rest. As human beings, we need time to recover, reflect, and restore our mental and physical energy. However, we often underestimate the importance of rest. What most people don't realize is that the great leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators understand that rest is a critical part of the process of creating value. When you take the time to stop and reflect, your ideas become clearer, your decisions more effective, and your productivity paradoxically increases. Do not underestimate the importance of stopping, breathing, and allowing yourself a moment of mental clarity. The impact of this on your personal life is equally profound. We are often so immersed in work that we forget that true success isn't only in what we achieve professionally, but also in how we balance all aspects of our lives. Thinking 10x isn't just about more money or recognition. It's about achieving a life that is more fulfilling, balanced, and free. By focusing on what truly matters, you begin to see how the 10X pillars can impact your health, relationships, and peace of mind. So, the big question is, what is your next move? If you believe you can achieve more, do more, and be more, the first step is to decide to think big. Don't wait any longer. The biggest mistake you can make is waiting for the right time or thinking the conditions need to be perfect. The truth is, if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never start. The right time is now. It's time to make a choice. Do you want to keep doing what everyone else is doing, or do you want to start moving towards greatness? If you choose the path of greatness, you'll have to embrace the discomfort of uncertainty and change. But you'll also uncover a new level of freedom, creativity, and fulfillment that most only dream of reaching. I want to hear from you. What actions are you taking today to start thinking in 10X terms? What changes are you willing to make in your life and business to achieve exponential results? Don't let this reflection stay in your mind. Put into practice right now and share in the comments what you're going to do differently to begin transforming your mindset and actions. Also, if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're here to bring more content that will transform your life and help you achieve the kind of success you deserve. Now, more than ever, it's time to act. You already have the knowledge. The rest is up to you.